Today we're going to make something really delicious. We're going to make a nice risotto with mushrooms that I grew. These are some of the mushrooms that I grew myself. These are yellow oysters. Aren't they beautiful? And these are blue oysters, even though as they get older they lose their color, but when they start growing they're actually blue. So I'm going to use some of my mushrooms that I grew and maybe even some of the ones that I bought, but for now I'm going to be using these. So before I start sauteing my onion and my mushrooms, I am going to put, here we go, we've got some beautiful fennel that we are going to put into a cast iron and we're going to roast it. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen what a fennel looks like. It looks like a bulb and it has a beautiful licorice taste. So we're just going to cut some with no butt and some we're going to leave the butt intact. There we go. And we're going to put these in a cast iron. We're going to put some olive oil in there. I could even use a smaller one. I really don't need that much of a large cast iron. There we go. And we're going to use a little bit of avocado oil. Whoop. So some are going to be without the butt and some are going to be with the butt. There we go. And all we want to do is just add some salt and black pepper. Start. And we're going to put it, I'm preheating it at 500, but we're going to lower it to 450 until they get nice and roasted. You want them almost charred. And this will be put right on top of our risotto. Okay, so we're going to put this in the oven. And that's going to go great with our risotto. Now, another thing. I ran out of Italian rice, so I will be using 2 cups of sushi rice. Now, if you're going to use, this is, like they say, if any Italian nonnas are probably rolling in their grave at this point, but if you don't have any Italian rice and you have some sushi rice on hand, you can use it because it's got a nice high starch content. The only thing is you don't want to rinse it. If you rinse it, it won't be the same as if you're making a risotto. So you want to not rinse if you're using sushi rice. If you want to do it the traditional way, you want arborio rice. That's the Italian rice that usually is used for risotto. But like I said, if you don't have any of that rice on hand and you have some sushi rice, you can actually use the sushi rice. Just do not rinse it. You want to be able to keep that starch. We're going to start off with some oil. I'm going to use some avocado oil to start off with my saute. When the risotto is done, I am going to add a little bit of some really good Italian oil. But if you're worried about heating up your olive oil, they say if you heat up your olive oil, you're basically turning your olive oil to a bad oil. The avocado oil could resist higher heat and it doesn't change the chemistry. And you don't need that much because we're just going to saute our onions. And we're going to also saute our mushrooms that I'm going to chop up. So I'm just going to push that aside for now. So we're just going to break up my mushrooms. If the mushroom is too large, just rip it in half. But, you know, the larger the mushroom, the prettier it is. Or if you want, you could just chop them up in little bits. And there's nothing like a nice risotto on those cold days. And trust me, we've had some ugly days in Montreal. We're not getting a lot of snow, but we are getting the cold. And these mushrooms are all grown by me. I usually pick my mushrooms spring, summer, and fall. But because I love mushrooms so much, I decided, okay, I'm going to cut off that butt. I'm going to cut off the stem and make the stem in little bits. There we go. Aren't these beautiful? There's some of the butts. We're just going to keep sauteing these. And you can use whatever mushrooms you have. If you have portobellos or if you have any type of mushrooms. I'm going to use whatever I have on hand. So I've got some that I pretty much grew myself, and I have some that I bought. So I'm just going to throw it all in. There we go. And it's going to be perfect for this dish. But remember, any mushroom you have is going to work well in this dish. There we go. I'm going to push this aside so they can saute. There we go. To this, we're going to add some salt. And salt you could always add to taste. And you're going to need a pressure cooker. For this recipe, you're going to need a pressure cooker. But you could actually make the same recipe without a pressure cooker. You're just going to have to add that broth slowly and let the rice absorb the broth until all the broth has been absorbed. But otherwise, you can make this same recipe without a pressure cooker. So we have very little fat in this recipe. Very little fat. I put about maybe 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. And then we'll just add some at the very end. To this, we're going to add just a little bit of nutmeg. There we go. We're going to crush 2 cloves of garlic. And these are huge garlics. Look how big they are. And now I'm going to use my favorite garlic press. I can't believe I finally found something that I actually like. There we go. Just going to crush that garlic in there. A little bit at a time here. Very fast. If you're in a pinch, you can make dinner in no time at all, guys. There we go. Now we're going to add a little bit of wine. I've got a white wine, and it's a Toro Loco, and it's a Spanish wine, but you do want to add a white wine to this. This is perfect. We're going to put about a half a cup of white wine. There we go. Oh, I lost that little guy. Here we go. Perfect. We're just going to put this aside. Now to this we're going to add our rice. We've got 2 cups of rice that we're going to cook. Now remember, I'm using sushi rice, so if you're using sushi rice, make sure not to rinse it. And if you're using the Italian rice, you can rinse it if you want, or you could leave it unrinsed where it adds even extra starches. Thank you very much. Okay, now normally you would add some kind of broth, either a vegetable broth or a mushroom broth, or on chicken broth. Because I don't have any of those broths, I'm going to use my mushroom powder. Here we go. I'd say about 2.5 tablespoons of mushroom powder. So when I add my 4 cups of water, I'm going to have a beautiful mushroom broth that's going to cook with my rice. How simple is this, guys? I'll put just a little extra vino. There we go. I wish you could smell this. Smells simply divine. Okay, where is my spinach? Now you can leave it just mushrooms if you want. And I want to use up my spinach before it goes bad. So I'm going to add some spinach. There's nothing like wasting food, right? Okay, so we've got some spinach. Oh, I just don't want my spinach to go bad. So I'm going to use it up. There we go. And that's another thing. If you're making like a risotto, look in your fridge. See what's in your fridge that you don't want to, you know, go to waste. And just throw it in your risotto. If you have zucchini, whatever vegetable you have, it's just going to be perfect if you put it in your risotto. So there's my spinach. It's going to get nice and wilted. What's worse than, you know, throwing away food? There's people that don't have food out there, and I remember my parents used to always tell me, you know, there's a lot of kids out there, there's a lot of families that don't have what you have on the table, so eat your dinner and enjoy it. Okay, so we are going to add about 4, I'm going to get half more, about 4.5 cups of water. And I'm just going to taste the water now to see if I need to add something to it. Maybe some extra mushroom powder. So let's say 3.5 tablespoons of mushroom powder. And that's going to be perfect. We will add some olive oil right at the end when it's cooked. So I am going to put this on. Here we go. Oh, that's what I forgot. I'm going to put some miso to it. A little bit of miso. And that miso is going to give it a nice Parmesan taste. So that should be good. So be easy on the salt, especially if you're going to be adding miso. Oh my God, this is going to be so good. Okay, so if I need extra salt, I will add it later on. So where is my lid? Here's my lid. Remember guys, when you're using a pressure cooker, always make sure that your ring and your seal's on right. Put it to seal. I'm going to cancel my saute. Okay, so now I am going to put it for 5 minutes. There we go. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. Okay, guys. Here we go. Hopefully I won't steam you up. There is our beautiful risotto. Where is my spoon? Okay. We're going to add, thank you, a drizzle. I don't want to oversteam you. Our risotto is done. We're going to add another drop of wine to the risotto. Now this is optional, you don't have to. There we go. We're going to add some olive oil. Some good olive oil. So I added about another maybe 2-3 tablespoons of olive oil. Beautiful. I'm going to taste it for salt. Oh my God. This is heaven on earth. Here's our risotto. We're going to put a little bit of grated cheese. And some beautiful roasted fennel. And that's how simple it is to make a very fast, easy, yet very delicious meal. So I hope you like this video, guys. And if you give it a try, come back, let me know how you like it. And guess what, guys? I'll see you in my next video.
For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Connie's RAWsome Kitchen, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends.